It's a bit of an inclement day, but it's been that way for weeks now. So, what I do have here, though, is the park is relatively quiet. So, that is outstanding. I need to knock on wood, but there's a tree up ahead. I think I will. So, the purpose of this video is just to reflect a little bit on the year and my blessings, as well as frustrations. See, knock on wood. Anyway, lots of air traffic today too for some inexplicable reason. Don't worry, not that kind of air traffic. Completely normal. There's a small airfield nearby, so I routinely see lights in the sky, but they're not the lights in the sky that we all like to talk about. They're actual, mostly small aircraft, sometimes helicopters, and usually you can tell the difference fairly easily. So, anyway, it's Sunday afternoon, December 29th. And just taking a leisurely hike right before the radio show with a topic that I don't know yet. I had an idea for one, but the person I wanted to bring on is scrambling to fulfill a deadline, so maybe in a future episode. Or radio broadcasts are not really episodes, because they all happen live and I don't get a chance to edit them. So kind of what you see is what you get. Anyway. I probably should have checked all my stats before I came out here to talk about things, but across the board, the channel continues to grow. I'm very happy with that. What I'm not happy with is the rate at which it continues to grow. Just very, very, very slow. And if I telescope back and take a longer time perspective on the statistics and how fast or slow it grows, there is an exponential element to it, but it's happening in a much slower or much longer time scale. So, about a year ago, right now we're getting close to 12,000. Not really there yet. Last time I checked, it was 11,000. What the heck is that? It's like odd looking tree stumps or something. Odd enough, I feel compelled to walk toward it. I mean, sorry. Watch this. What is that? Yeah, it's just like a mangled tree stump or something. Yeah. Yeah, like a dead tree stump. If you look right there on my left, or on my right, on my left, right there. It looks odd from a distance. I didn't expect it to be much other than that, but you never know. So, just climbing this hill, and I'm wildly out of shape because I don't get to do this that much anymore. Sometimes you just have to, you get a calling to come out into nature, and I just have to maintain my sanity. To maintain everyone's sanity, I recommend you all do it. But wildly out of shape, obviously. I've been just working all the time, even during the break, but it's the only way you get to do what you love. And I love doing this podcast. And I'm going to keep doing it until it stops growing. I would love to end the year 2025, which it is obviously not yet, with 100,000 subscribers. I'm not even projecting it anymore because I'm like one of the least optimistic people you could imagine. And even my optimism, even my kind of pessimistic projections were too optimistic. Right? So, who knows why? But maybe it's YouTube. Maybe it's not. But in terms of the ad revenue that I'm tracking to in December, Spotify has not quite beaten YouTube yet, but it's getting closer. And that's with maybe 20% of the listens / views that I get on Spotify versus YouTube. So, kind of getting 5x or close to 5x, maybe around 4x, my bang for my buck on Spotify, which leads me to believe that Spotify might be where the future of the channel is, honestly. Now, I only post the episodes, the actual episodes. Maybe that helps. Maybe it's simpler. I don't put any of the live streams or any other content there, but I think that company is poised to make a huge run at YouTube next year. And for people like me, it's pretty compelling. Once you start, I mean, it was pretty ambiguous as to when I would start earning advertising dollars there, but once you start, the spice flows. It's beautiful. So, although there might be a counteracting mechanism from the recent administration change in the United States, where if things go well, there will be a massive crackdown inside the government over all these agencies that are openly attacking First Amendment rights by putting pressure on companies like YouTube and Facebook to cut out algorithms, or not cut out, but to tweak their algorithms so that people don't hear wrong speak or wrong thought, and only are permitted to engage in double speak, et cetera, et cetera. George Orwell was not far off. Look, growing up, I loved my country and my government, and so much so that I proudly served as a combat arms officer in the U.S. Army. Now I still love my country, but my government is so thoroughly decoupled from it that it's hard to advocate for my children to do the same. And, this is kind of a brainstorming session if you haven't really thought about what I was going to talk about before this. So I'm just kind of letting it flow a little bit. Maybe there's a bit of a meditative aspect to this. I do like to get out alone and enjoy the sheer beauty and majesty of nature. And it helps one think and ponder and just enjoy life and the beauty around me, and to count how fortunate I am, and to take out those kind of negative thoughts. But as negative as they are, they still need to be addressed. What I see's happened in terms of the thorough nature of reality is that we're not a government that's organized by principles anymore. It's a government organized by the principles of power. And I mean, as an example, you should seek to conduct yourself with the utmost honesty and integrity in every interaction you have with anybody. And kindness, too. I needed to work on, that's something I need to work on in my entire career. Because it's very judgmental early on. Because I came out of the military where they actually shaped you to be a good leader. And my first job was in investment banking, and like, they train you not to be, not intentionally, but every behavior that I was taught that would get you shot in the face by your men was something that leaders in investment banking like engaged in, taking credit for other people's work, unless there's a mistake, in which case they shot you in the face. And then as a leader, if one of your people made a mistake, right? In the military, I was taught that their mistakes are your mistakes. So you're responsible for the mistakes that your soldiers make. So I would take responsibility for that. The problem is, unlike the military, these elite kids from, Ivy League institutions, or not elite, but wealthy kids, would perfectly be willing to let you fall on the sword, even if they were grotesquely incompetent. And I'm not saying there was a case of that or anything like that, but you saw enough of the signs of that you were on your own. And what's happened is, because wealth creation has occurred mostly in the finance industry, we had people who, many of the most talented people in the country flocked there. And as a result, they disregarded areas where we should be encouraging, like science and engineering. And then we got Elon Musk, meet the new boss, same as the old boss, right? So totally all for meritocracy, except when it's cheaper. When it's cheaper to bring in, immigrants, who many are perfectly qualified, but the reason they're brought in is not because they're smarter, right? Many of them are very talented and educated, but not all of them. The reason they're brought in is they're cheaper, lots cheaper. And then that depresses the labor market for talented indigenous, homegrown engineers. And as a result, it creates this positive feedback loop, which leads to destruction, where no way you would put yourself through the pain and difficulty and challenge of an engineering program if you'd only make $70K a year for the rest of your life. It's just not worth it. So the problem is not Republican or Democrat. It's with the moneyed elite. Now, some of these people work their butts off and are enormously talented. But others just back their clown car into a gold mine and think they're geniuses because of it. And that's why we have so much dysfunction at the top. And I know that we had good people. And I worked for Ash Carter. He's the smartest person I ever met. But he's dead. And now we have a veritable clown show where people are brought in because of patronage or other more ridiculous reasons, such as immutable characteristics that we can't possibly have a competent civil society. Just venting. I'm holding it in better than you can see, brother. So, in the end, you can't rely on institutions anymore. They're dead. So, we're all on our own, or we invent new ones. And just be kind to each other. That's all you can do. But there's going to be more stupidity as we go on. Just expect it. And try to navigate through it. The other thing too is we will see change, but it's going to be pretty ugly, because we have people who, again, this is not a Democrat-Republican argument. But the point is, institutions are dead. So, the best thing each and every one of you can do is make sure you can sustain yourself, protect yourself, and just not rely on government to do anything other than to oppress you. So that's what they do. I mean, not in overt ways. That would almost be easier. But in passive-aggressive, nasty, evil ways, like PEPs. Some little coward in some bureaucratic office, hiding inside, sitting behind the desk, says, that person offended me, and then puts you as a politically exposed person, and soon you can no longer bank with anybody, and they deprive you of your means to live, and they hope your will to live. So, just the crop of leaders that currently exist are, and it's almost like the set of characteristics that encourages people to serve are just not the right set of characteristics. Malignant narcissism, megalomania, psychopathy, sociopathy, all the good mentally deranged words. The sun looks like it's starting to come out. And more people. So, take care of yourself. Thank you for supporting the channel. A little nervous about it because I only have about 2 weeks left of inventory and no interview. Well, one interview scheduled which I could probably come up with 2 episodes from, but I'd like to try to stay ahead of these things. And everybody I keep reaching out to is like, oh, just come reach out to me in a month, this or that. So then when I head back, as people are starting to come out, and I come out here to be alone, not to be around other people. It's hard to record yourself without looking like an insane person. But we'll see. You think I'll get to 100,000 this year? Next year, I mean, 2025. I don't know. The math seems to indicate not likely. But hoping sometimes the math will be wrong. Sometimes it's got to work in my favor, right? Not always against my favor. Oh, hello, buddy. We got a hawk right there. See? My friends. Every time I feel a calling to come out here, something like that always happens. I just hope I got it on recording. And they fly real close like that. And then we got an annoying airplane. You just take the good with the bad, right? I'll tell you what. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff. This video I probably can't use. But that hawk was worth all of it. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Good luck and Godspeed. And I'll probably do a live stream on the 1st. It's because it's a Wednesday, 1st of the month. It's about that time. And it'll be a good time. Let's get out of the sun. See if I can get some. This is also an excuse. Me coming out here and talking to a camera helps me do something a little bit more healthy too. You know, like efficiency gains, nonsense like that. It just helps me do that sort of thing. I feel like that the time that I'm getting some good exercises also. I don't have to do that at the expense of making good content, if you can call this good. So anyway, my friends, hope you enjoyed your holiday season, and Happy New Year. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit like and subscribe, and also hit the notification button so you can be notified whenever I post new content. Thank you. Now, if you're enjoying the channel and you want to support it, there are several things you can do. In fact, there are 5 things you can do. The first thing you can do is just buy my books. I got plenty of books out in the market right now, and I would prefer that folks buy a book rather than giving me direct support, because they get something out of it. They get a real tangible product. The second way you can support me is by becoming a member on YouTube or becoming a patron on Patreon. And just go to either site and it'll explain everything. The third way you can support the channel is by checking out my merch site, which is here. There's plenty of stuff that you can get to support the channel. And I'd appreciate that you have it and can wear it. Not only do you help support the channel, but you also help promote the channel, and I appreciate that. The fourth way that you can support the channel, and this is really easy, is anytime you want to buy something on Amazon, literally just go to the description below and click on any link, literally any link. The channel gets a cut of that, and it costs you no extra money. You just go through the link, as I'm part of the Amazon Affiliates Program. The fifth and final way you can support the channel is through donations. Now, I don't prefer these because it's more of an expression of gratitude, but you don't really get anything out of it as a subscriber to the channel. However, if you decide to do these options, there's 2 options. There's Buy Me a Coffee, which is a separate site, and there's also, you can go through YouTube with either a super chat, super sticker, or a super thanks. Again, I prefer Buy Me a Coffee because that organization takes less money than Amazon does. But either way, I appreciate any support you are willing to give the channel. So thank you very much, and keep watching. I really appreciate it.